Some of this stuff is just between me and them, right? It's I could have swore I just heard a vocal. Some of this stuff is just between me and them, right? It's I could have swore I just heard a vocal. Okay, I have my windows open, so something major is taking place up there. There's a shift, and I'm not sure how much of me is a part of it. And like, yeah, there too, you can let me know your thoughts on it. I'm still going through it all, right? This is Charlie, everybody. This is Charlie. Hello, folks. So this is going to be a lead up to 2 episodes coming to you from the White Birch Bigfoot clan. I wanted to do this because it was a very intense trip, almost all the way from the beginning, you know that? Almost all the way from the get-go. And just for those that are new here, that area up in there, there's no people, no farms, no houses, nothing. And some of it is reforested because that was an area that was logged many, many years ago. We knew about the Bigfoot for many, many years. My father, who is long since passed away, he used to fall trees for a living. That was one of the things he did for a living. And he fell trees up in there way back in the 50s. I believe it was in the 50s, early 60s that he was falling trees up in there. And he knew some of the strange stuff that was going on up there. I think he may have had a few experiences, but I never had the chance to hear any of that from him. But what little my mother had told me about some of the things that he said while he was up there, right? What he experienced. We knew about the Sasquatch being up there for many, many years. My whole life, I heard stories about this area. But it's only been in the last 4 years that I made an effort to go up in there and try to connect with him. And it was going really, it went well to this point. And this is where, and this is why I need to do this lead up. I just got back here a couple days ago, and the wheels are turning. My mind's, it's boggling my brain, trying to put the pieces together of what I experienced, what I felt, what I saw, what I heard, the whole time I was up there. But there's some important parts that I have to bring up here, and just so that, and I would appreciate if you guys kept that in mind when you see episode 1 and episode 2. I'm gonna have to do it in 2 episodes because I was up there for quite a while. My sisters here across the property that live at Mom's, they were worried because it was getting dark by the time I pulled in here. And it was because this stuff, it was just coming in like waves, right? Coming in like waves. When I got off the pavement, I only got about 5-10 minutes into that back road, and this grizzly bear, I'm pretty sure it was a female, she come flying across the road right in front of my truck. It made me hit my brakes and slow down. I wasn't traveling, I wasn't speeding through there because I never do, because there's too much to see, I'll miss it. This bear was right in front of my truck, so it kind of made me pay attention a little bit closer. But from that point on, the first one I seen was a grizzly. I saw 3 more bear all the way up in there, and the last bear, the 4th bear, he's right as I'm coming to a stop, to right where the gifting bowl is. The gifting bowl is in the trees to my right, right in front of me. There's this little dark thing sitting on the road, and sure enough, it's another bear. He's not that big. I would say just over a year. He's probably a yearling. You know, he did this little pirouette and off he went. And I was thinking, okay, great, because it's right there. That's where I'm doing everything, right there. I'm going to get on my truck and I'm going to start and go to the gifting site, check on the bowl. I shut the cam off, and in between shutting that one off and getting everything else ready, my other cameras, I'm watching over there where he disappeared, and I can see him peeking up. It was kind of like a root, an overturned tree, and there's this big root system sticking out of the ground, and I could see him peeking at me from on the other side of this, right? So I did say, don't you come over here, don't you be bugging me, stay where you are, like don't be following me around, right? And it was almost like he heard me because he kind of disappeared. And then I seen him again just as I turned my cameras on and I grabbed my flute. I did my loon calls and I grabbed my flute and I was going to play a few notes on the flute for the Sasquatch there. And just as I was starting, I turned around, I could see him over there. But as soon as I started blowing on that flute, he took off. He was gone again. And I never did hear nor see him after that. When I first got onto that back road, I was starting to feel, okay, this is the empath kicking in. I was starting to feel something. And as I got closer to my destination, it became stronger. I got a thing that I want to do, and I'm trying to stay focused on that, but yet there's all this other stuff coming from different directions, right? And for any of those that are empaths or sensitives to these kind of things, you know what I'm talking about. When it's like, I mean, you know what you have to do, but there's just, it's like you try to push that away and stay focused on the goal, right? On the job that you're going to do. And I was trying to do that all the way in there, but it was increasing in strength, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was. I didn't understand where it was coming from. I wasn't sure. Just relax. Make your bed. Yeah, make your bed. There you go. I get there, and it's there. That energy's there. The whole area, it really felt different once I start setting up my cameras. And even when I start playing my flute, I wasn't getting a response right away. I did hear some wood knocks and I did hear some vocals, but they were way back, and it was almost like this whole group all of a sudden was staying way back. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure everything out and put the pieces together, and hopefully it'll come through or clear. And I think I'm gonna need you guys' all your help trying to figure this one out and help me put the pieces together and make sense of everything that took place. And after I get there, the bear's there, so that might have been part of the energy added to it that I was feeling, because I was saying, okay, now I gotta watch for this bear. But I'm not too concerned about the black bear. The grizzlies, I worry about a little more because they will follow you. That's just what grizzlies do. But the black bears out in the wild choose to have nothing to do with you before they would follow you or anything like that. It's the ones that are near people, like communities or campgrounds, public campgrounds. Those are the ones, right? They live there, they become very used to people. I mean, we've created the mess, we've created the problem by putting these environments there for them. I mean, they're not actually for them, but they're very opportunistic, right? It's all about the food with bears. It's all about the food. They spend months sleeping, hibernating. And when they wake up, it's from that point on till the time they go back to bed, which is how many months later. It's about gaining all that weight back, storing up the fat and calories, and their bodies will use all that through their winter months of hibernation. So they do spend all that time awake, eating, finding food, searching for food. And then right now in this month, testosterone and estrogen levels are high because it's mating season. So their energies are high, right? And you do have to watch out for that. But the black bears, I'm not really worried too much about it. And even if that little bear would have came and followed me back in there towards the gifting bowl, I probably wouldn't have did too much about it. You don't want to start something or confront them. A good example, it's not always about fear. Maybe for those that don't have never lived in the trees, who've never been in the bush. We grew up in the bush, right? We grew up along the rivers and along trap lines. And my father was a trapper. It's something that's been carried on through my family all the way to my great-great-great-grandfathers. We're very comfortable in the trees, and for those that, people fear the unknown. And I guess if you don't know the forest, you don't know the trees, you've never lived in them or been around or been in them that often, you fear it. You fear everything you can't see, or if you hear something strange, people get scared. But just remind me one day to tell you about how I had a sow bear leave her baby cubs with me, and I babysat for a whole half an hour while she left somewhere. I'll tell you that story, Simon, and it's a true story. No word of a lie. I'm not here to tell you a bunch of lies and made up stuff, but I have babysat 2 bear cubs. She left her babies with me. Like, that's an experience of a lifetime. I'll never experience anything like that again, ever. Anyway, so I'm not too worried about the bears. Just the grizzlies I'm a little bit more leery of, and the cougars. Cougars they'll stalk you, right? They'll try to, I don't know, they're just different. They're just different. But anyway, so, I made my way to the bowl. The gifting bowl was fine. It was good. It was safe. It was there. Nothing was in it. And even there, everything that was there stayed far back. Like I said, I'm picking up this energy. I get there, it's different. Everything feels different. They're staying back. Why are they staying back? What's going on? I don't voice all my thoughts and feelings as I'm there, because it's real time. I'm going through it, and I do mention things throughout the video. You'll see, because I'm trying to make sense of it. Because as well, pay attention to my environment. I've got a bear now to consider. He might be there. It is a little bit of a threat, but like I say, I'm not too worried about it. But I've got all these things. It's multitasking on a whole entirely different level. While I was there, it was different. So I leave the gifting bowl. Everything's good. I left the gifts. That all went well. Didn't hear much. And I decided to go across to the other side. If you all remember where I first had the gifting bowl set up with all of the beautiful big birch arches, and there were so many arches back there. Like, the camera never ever did that justice back in there. But when I would stand and look down into it, kind of goes down into a valley. Like I say, the camera can't really see that, but because it's like more 2-dimensional than it is 3. I mean, as far as my human eyes could see back in that forest, I could see arches as far as I could see. But before I even went into that forest on the west side of the road, on the other side of that road, I get this growl coming at me from that side where we're going to go. And the camera picks it up. You will be able to hear it. I froze. And what made me freeze more than anything was the vibration that come with that sound, right? It come right into me, right into my chest. And I'm like, whoa. Wait a minute. And I'm looking back there. I'm trying to see, because I was thinking, okay, he can't be, and I know this is a male, and he can't be that far back there, but I could see nothing. Maybe 70 feet at the most back in the trees. And, for the next person or the average person, they might just say, okay, well, we're not going back in there. And they would take off, right? They would leave it. They'd probably get spooked and freaked out. I went in because I wanted to know. It was just compiling. As I was there, more and more and more stuff was compiling into a huge deal. And it was just building around me and in me. And I needed to know something's up. Something's different. What's going on? I can't pinpoint it. I can't place what this is yet, but I need to go in there. When I first walked into the forest, immediately I picked up a difference, a change. The whole place felt oddly strange. And then I start realizing, where are the arches? And then I start really looking around me and around that whole entire, and I'm like, where are the arches? You guys, they're all gone. And there must have been 20, in that area that I could see whenever I was in there. and every single one of them is gone. And some of them were broken apart. At first I thought, my first thinking was maybe humans come in there and cut these birch trees down to use for firewood. But then I started looking at the trees. There's no saw marks on what was left of some of the arches. And all that's left there is a broken off, like about 1.5 foot stump that used to form one of those beautiful birch arches. And I like, they're all gone. There is none. They are all gone. And I just kind of was speechless, and I couldn't really think of anything to say, even to the camera. There's points in that part of the visit that I didn't say a whole lot, because I'm just thinking, like, what's happening here? What's going on? Why would, like, it's not human, right? It's not humans, because, I mean, I'm the only one that's been in there filming these arches, walking around them, talking about them, connecting with the clan. I'm the only one. I don't even think there's anybody else that knows, other than maybe the old trappers, that there is some trap lines still up there. They may know. They may have experienced some things, but I've never heard any stories from them. Not sure. I don't know. So something happened in between from the time I left, the last time I was there visiting, to this last visit I made. Something happened. And I get confirmation about that, because I am talking to the camera at one point, and I'm saying, I said, well, obviously something's happened since I was last here. And just as I'm saying that, right in my microphone on the camera, I didn't hear this with my ears, but you hear a very mournful sound, vocal, come into that microphone. You will hear it. It's there. It's a little bit tricky, but you'll hear it. That was the confirmation, because it came in right as I was saying something happened, something big happened. Just keep all of these things in mind before you watch that episode 1, because I think, and keep it in order. So it's like the bears, it's at the gifting site, the watcher that I see behind me, the growl, then the arches, me discovering the arches. And then when I come out of the trees from there, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to head home. I start packing up my stuff. And there was a place, when I was coming in there was a place I saw about half a mile before I get to the location where the gifting bowl is. And I seen this clearing, this opening in the trees, and I seen some structures back up in there. It's kind of going up into a hill, and there's a huge trail, game trail up in there. And the sun was shining on these structures, and I was thinking, okay, well, we're going to stop there on my way back, right? I was thinking I'd stop there on my way out and go back in there and film these structures. We finished there at where the arches are missing. All these Sasquatch beautiful birch arches are gone. They're gone. They're vanished. They somehow, or they destroyed them and broke them into pieces. There were some pieces on the ground, but I never did see any of an arch-shaped piece of birch there. That was a strange thing. I even walked further back down into that, on the way down into that valley, and not an arch, not one in sight. Why would they do this? And this is where I present, the question to you guys, like, why? Because is this that I do need your guys' help with this one. I do, because there's so much happening, so many things, and I don't quite understand. I haven't been able to piece it all together and figure out what they're doing, and if it has to do with me. And the one thing that was coming across to me while I was there, and of course this is the empath, me picking this up, it was like I was pulled into two pieces. I was pulled in two directions, not into two pieces, but I was being pulled into two directions. One, it was almost like that group up there, or maybe there's another group in the area that doesn't want to connect with us, and removed any sign that they were even there because of me. And the other pole is a group that wants to connect, and I get a more of a female feeling from that side, like the mothers and the young, and there's some males. There's a couple of males. I'm pretty sure Scar is one of the ones that are on this side, and I think he actually follows me. Now I'm getting that feeling that he's going to these places where I go, because we've seen him at, except for here. I don't know if he's allowed here with this clan that's next to our property. I've seen him at the White Birch clan location, and I've seen him at Seven Creeks clan location. Those two places. That came across 2 or 3 times. It was like I was being pulled in 2 directions, and I still have not figured out yet what's happening. But when I was back there in where the arches were, when I realized that all the structures were missing and they were all gone, I felt very small and very alone. I don't know why that would come over me, but very, very strongly it did. Like, it came through very strong, and I felt very alone, very naked, and very exposed. A lot took place. And when I got home here that night, this clan was acting up. And then they've been very vocal since, last 2 nights. And this will be the 3rd night now since I've been at the White Birch clan. And these 2 things could be separate too, but it's just so coincidental, right? I don't believe so much in coincidence. Usually everything is connected in some way, some form or another, but I don't know yet. And this is where I ask for all of you guys' help. So when you watch episode 1, watch it and let me know your thoughts. You can also use Facebook Messenger if you want to connect with me. I mean, you can actually leave voice audio there. You can post pictures through Messenger. Send me pictures, like stills that you got off of my videos, or just, it's real time, right? It's texting. It's just like texting somebody on your phone. It's really good. It's a really good way of connecting. And I do talk to quite a few people on there from the channel. And then, or email. You can email me too, your thoughts on it. But don't base them on a fear, because I wasn't afraid. Some of you may be fearing, maybe for me, the growl, right? Like that was the way both of my sisters reacted in the same way. It's like, well, don't go in there. Like, why are you? Because they have those fears. They wouldn't go in there. They won't go in the bush. They don't even like going out of this yard. So it's different, right? All of us are dealing with different things, different fears, different anxieties, different worries, but try to base your thoughts or even suggestions, because I don't even know how I'm going to deal with that going back up there, or if I should, or if I even should go back up there. Like, is this because of me? And I don't even want to say that, because it sounds egocentric and self-centered, but I'm the only one up there, right? I'm the only one up there interacting with them. So is maybe part of this have to do with me doing what I'm doing up there. And maybe they don't like me. Maybe I'm drawing too much attention by parking on the road. Maybe that's why they just destroyed all of any trace that they were even back there, because I'm the only one that recognized what those were and who was making them, what was making them, right? So, yeah, I don't know. But I would appreciate your guys' thoughts, even if you just leave a little bit through the comment section, because I don't know now what, like, should I switch it up? Like, should I change how I go in there? Should I stop really trying, like, because when I go in there, I'm very open. I open up. It's like opening everything and exposing yourself to the elements, to anything that's there. That's the only way I can explain it. You literally open up, drop your ego, drop everything, and just be there for them, with them. If they're willing to communicate or speak to you in some way, whether it be just in vocals or wood knocks, you open up. I'm just at a loss of how I should approach going back up there. Should I remove the gifting site entirely and move it to a different area? Because I think I hit the nail on the head when I found the location. And then I had all the reaction, like all the responses, all the wood knocks and the vocals, and the arches were there, the X's were there. There was so much Bigfoot activity right in that spot, and that's why I chose it. And maybe that's not the good thing to do. Maybe I need to move that gifting bowl where I can park off the road, because there are other little trails and stuff that I could probably back into and be out of sight. Is like, how does structures, a whole entire, it's like a birch arch field, disappear? Like, I've heard of 1 or 2 structures disappearing. People talk about it, or they'll remove them or knock them down. For whatever reasons, I don't know them, but I mean, I've not ever heard of something like this, and like, it just blew me away, and I'm still, it overwhelmed me. Like I say, all of a sudden, I just felt very alone and small. I did, and I wanted to go. I wanted to get out of there, and they could have been making me feel that, or it was just the fact that I was like, I'm, you know, it was almost like realizing there, everything, like, it's shifted. The energy shifted. The arches, I mean, they spend, some of those arches are old, right? You could tell they're old. They've been there for years, and they just come in, clean house. Something major would have to cause them to do that. I don't want to, I'm trying to avoid thinking it's about me. This little me, right? This little hairless human, causing all that. I don't know. I did hear, you'll see in the video, I did hear some major communication. I had my camera, I was getting ready to head home. I had put my camera in the back seat. All of a sudden, one of the males from the east side, where I went in to see these new structures and they were missing, he started, and it was so mournful, and I got pulled into that. I literally froze, and I got pulled into his vocals, and I almost was trying not to weep, and I don't know what that was either. And then as of course, these things are happening without my camera, my mic's on, and I think some of those things happen in that way because it's something I need to, some of this stuff is just between me and them, right? It's, I could have swore I just heard a vocal. It's, I could have swore I just heard a vocal. Okay, I have my windows open, so, and then as he's going, one on the west, further away, the exact or very similar type of vocals, and it's almost like they're communicating with each other, and I'm right in the middle, and I was pulled into it, and I was frozen, and I was very emotional, and it's still here. It's still all of these things it's so raw within me still. It's only been 2 days, and I'm still on a roller coaster, on an emotional roller coaster. It was like going through a 12-step program when I got home. It's been that way since, because there was even points where I was angry. I got a little bit angry, like, why did you growl? Why did they growl at me, right? But at the same time, when I, of course, I can't blame them. On the whole, to put this into perspective, that I can't blame them, because that's about them. And if they don't want me a part of that, then I have to respect that, right? Because their whole idea, their whole way of life for their species is to stay hidden. They don't draw attention to themselves. And you will never know they're there if they don't want you to know. And that's why, a lot of these places I go to, and when they come forward, even with their little ones, that's a huge step. And, it's not going to always be 10 for 10 with these groups like that one up there. Maybe, they're different because they are very much away from humans up in there. And yeah, it's still too many things and too many pieces. It's always like a puzzle. Each time I go to these places, like when I come back, it takes me days to put all the pieces together of what I felt, what I sensed, what I picked up, what I saw and heard, and then put it all together into some kind of organized puzzle to a point where it can make sense to me, where I can make sense of the whole time I was there. Because you can't, it's like I say, you're multitasking. A lot is going on, a lot of things are happening, and you're trying to process that while you're there, boots on the ground, as well, paying attention to the lens, the camera lens, because I know all you guys are going to be there. You're going to see this, so I've got that responsibility, and everything around me, even where I'm placing my feet. Yeah, it's multitasking on a whole entire different level. So I'm reliving and going through all of that over and over and over once I get home. And this one here is just, it's been, I think, one of the most difficult ones for me. So, okay, this is a lead-up video from my road trip, from the road trip to the White Birch Bigfoot clan. This will be the lead-up video to that, and then, like I say, I'll leave this up for a while for most of you to see it, and then I will upload episode 1, and then I would love to hear your thoughts, feedback. I would like to hear your thoughts and ideas. Anyway, okay, all right. I didn't want to make this too lengthy, but this is important. I will leave things there, and my next stop, I'm not ready to go back up there yet. I was going to immediately go back up there and grab the gifting bowl and move it. And I thought, no, don't rush into this. Leave it for a few days. And I wanted to bring this all to you guys and get your thoughts on it. And theories, river is my next stop. I would need to go check on that bowl because I set it up and I haven't been back there since, right? I want to know if it's still there, if it's still up. And then I am introducing you to a new piece of equipment, and she didn't want me to say much, but I do want to do a little shout out to Doreen. She sent me this piece of equipment, and I think this is going to take things to a different level, in a different direction. It's pretty exciting, and we will be able to use this equipment too down at the river. I may be able to see what we're always seeing across the river, up in the river hill. We'll see, right? And that's a whole, I'm learning. I have to actually learn this technology on this piece of equipment, because I get very drawn into it, because you're looking at things in the dark, and we're trying to find things in the nooks and the crannies, right? But anyway, I'll leave it there. Everybody take care. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching this video, and I appreciate your thoughts and everything on the matter and on what's going on here. I really do. And I will see you in the trees. Bye for now.